Welcome to Easy English Story and smart strategies to help you speak English fluently and confidently. Emotional and inspiring brand. Your home for powerful stories, life-changing books. Today, you're going to listen to one another success story in the world.
1. A story beyond politics. Barack Obama's life is more than the story of America's first black president. It's a journey of identity, purpose, resilience, and hope. From a biracial boy raised by a single mother in Hawaii to the most powerful office in the world, his path is marked by reflection, transformation, and an unshakable belief in the power of change. This is not just his story. It's a story that belongs to every person who has ever dared to dream beyond their circumstances. 2. A mixed beginning. Barack Hussein Obama II was born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii, to Ann Dunham, a white woman from Kansas, and Barack Obama Sr., a black man from Kenya. Their relationship was brief. Barack Sr. left the family when young. Barack was just 2 years old. Barack barely knew his father, who returned to Kenya and visited only once when Barack was 10. His mother raised him with the help of his grandparents, and later, during a period of her studies, Obama lived in Jakarta, Indonesia, with his stepfather. This early exposure to multiple cultures, languages, and faiths shaped Barack's worldview, diverse, adaptable, and curious. But he also faced isolation. As a biracial boy in a mostly white environment, he often struggled with questions like, "Where do I belong?" 3. The search for identity. Growing up in Hawaii, Obama attended Panahu School, one of the most prestigious institutions on the island. But his high school years were a mix of academic success and personal conflict. He wrote in his memoir, Dreams from My Father, about experimenting with drugs, feeling lost, and trying to understand who he was. He struggled with his racial identity, his absent father, and a sense of not fitting in. But these inner battles made him think deeply about life, people, and society. They ignited the seeds of empathy that would later define his leadership. 4. Finding purpose through education. After high school, Obama attended Occidental College in Los Angeles before transferring to Columbia University in New York City. There, he majored in political science with a focus on international relations. Post-graduation, he worked at various odd jobs as a researcher, writer, and even a community organizer. But none of it truly satisfied him. So in 1985, Obama made a decision that would change everything. He moved to Chicago to work as a community organizer on the South Side, one of the city's poorest and most segregated areas. 5. On the streets of Chicago. In Chicago, Obama worked with church groups, helping residents deal with job loss, poverty, and crime. He wasn't a savior, he was a listener. This experience taught him the value of grassroots activism, the belief that real change starts not in Washington, but in neighborhoods and communities. It was here he learned to lead by serving. But he also realized the limits of community work without political power. And so he took another big step. 6. Harvard Law and the Rising Star. In 1988, Barack Obama enrolled at Harvard Law School, where he quickly made history. In 1990, he became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review, a prestigious legal journal. This achievement gained national media attention and marked him as someone to watch. After law school, he returned to Chicago. Instead of chasing big money and law firms, he chose public service. He worked as a civil rights attorney, taught constitutional law, and stayed grounded in community work. In 1992, he married Michelle Robinson, a fellow lawyer from Chicago. Their relationship would become a strong foundation in both his personal and political life. 7. Entry into politics. Obama's political career began in 1996 when he was elected to the Illinois State Senate. In this role, he pushed for reforms in ethics, health care, and law enforcement. He earned a reputation for being thoughtful, collaborative, and focused on real solutions rather than party politics. But it was his 2004 speech at the Democratic National Convention that turned him into a national figure. His words, "There's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's the United States of America," resonated across political divides. That speech launched his campaign for the U.S. Senate, which he won with a landslide. 8. The road to the White House. In 2008, Obama announced his candidacy for president. People questioned whether a young black senator with an unusual name could really win. But Obama didn't run a normal campaign, he ran a movement. His message of hope and change inspired millions, especially young people and minorities. His campaign used the internet and social media in revolutionary ways. He defeated Hillary Clinton in the Democratic primaries and faced Republican war hero John McCain in the general election. On November 4, 2008, Barack Obama was elected as the 44th President of the United States and the first black president in American history. 9. The presidency. Hope meets reality. Obama took office during the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Banks were collapsing. People were losing jobs and homes. His administration passed a massive stimulus package, saved the auto industry, and worked with the Federal Reserve to stabilize the economy. He also focused on health care. After years of fierce debate, he signed the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, in 2010, expanding health coverage to over 20 million Americans. On the international front, Obama ordered the operation that led to the killing of Osama bin Laden in 2011. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009 for his efforts to improve global diplomacy, though some viewed it as premature. 10. Struggles and criticism. Obama's presidency wasn't without setbacks. He faced intense opposition from Republicans, especially after they took control of Congress in 2010. He struggled to pass immigration reform and faced criticism for drone strikes and surveillance programs. His calm intellectual style made some see him as distant or too cautious. He often said, "Being president doesn't mean doing what you feel like. It means doing what's right, even when it's hard." 11. Personal life in the White House. Despite the pressure, Obama remained a dedicated husband and father. He famously coached his daughter, Sasha's basketball team, until some parents complained about security, forcing him to step back. Michelle Obama brought grace and activism to her role as First Lady, focusing on healthy eating, education for girls, and support for military families. Their family brought warmth and relatability to the White House and inspired millions. 12. Legacy and post-presidency. After leaving office in 2017, Obama didn't fade into the background. He founded the Obama Foundation, began work on his presidential center in Chicago, and signed a content deal with Netflix to produce educational and inspiring content. He also released his memoir, A Promised Land, which became a bestseller and offered deep insight into his presidency. Obama's legacy is mixed, as all legacies are, but his presidency broke barriers, expanded health care, stabilized the economy, and restored dignity to the office. 13. The symbol of hope. Barack Obama represents more than policies or achievements. He represents the power of belief. Belief that a boy raised without a father, a mixed-race child unsure of where he belonged, a community organizer with no connections, could one day become President of the United States. His story is a reminder that where you start does not define where you end up. Barack Obama's most iconic slogan was simple: "Yes, we can." 3 words that captured not just his campaign, but his life. Yes, we can rise above doubt. Yes, we can break barriers. Yes, we can be better together. In a world full of division, fear, and noise, Obama's life is a quiet, steady voice of reason and hope, a reminder that one person can still make a difference, not just in power, but in purpose